of us were impressed. You're 15 minutes behind. How do you make that up?
Luck. I don't know. I mean, I can't really explain it. It's definitely the best I've ever felt, you know, running at that stage of a 100-mile race. It was just a lot of things came together for me, and yeah, I don't have an explanation. It's something I don't know if I'll ever duplicate. So.
Well, it certainly surprised me, I guess. Yeah, you have a 15-minute wait. I didn't think, I was going to get caught, but yeah. No hard feelings there.
Well, I would definitely give Tony and Killian both a lot of credit. I mean, I wouldn't have been in that position at all had I not been chasing them. I would have been 30 minutes further back than where I was. I mean, the only reason I was even in striking distance was because how hard and fast they were running, and that motivated me to just keep plugging along. You know, and sooner or later it turned around for me.
Hi, I'm going to throw out a question to you. Tony, a lot of us in Colorado Springs obviously started running around down here when you lived in the area. So I have to ask for a third-party opinion. Which trails are better, those in Boulder or those in Colorado?
Yeah, gosh. I don't think I can put a qualitative answer to that. It's more, they're just different. There's a lot more trails immediately in the Pikes Peak region, I think. And you have Pikes Peak, so you can get to 14,000 feet, you know, sort of instantly, which is pretty nice. And the weather might be a little bit better down here too. But in Boulder, you have basically what I think was like in-town peaks. You know, like from downtown Boulder, you can, you know, run up 3,000 feet to 3 different peaks, and the trails there are much more technical, a lot steeper, a lot rockier, and closed to mountain bikes, which is sort of silly. But then down here, the switchbacks are a lot more graded and a lot more gravelly. I'm pretty split. I can't really go either way. I go back and forth. Some days I really like Boulder, but I still make trips down here for training runs because I enjoy the trails here so much.
Let me ask a follow-up question then for Geoff. How was it that you decided to come down here for the winters? How did you guys decide to run together?
Oh, what's that? Say that again. I'm sorry.
How is it that you decided to come down here and run during the winters, and I guess apparently decided to run together, right?
Yeah, my girlfriend Corlay, who was in the film a bit, is in school in Colorado, and so I came down here to be with her. So I'm just spending kind of the school year here, and my summers back in Alaska. And unfortunately, Tony and I have such different schedules. I mean, we run together, but not as much as we'd like to.
Yeah, not nearly such a thing. And for the past year almost, I've been pretty injured, which is it's gotten pretty ridiculous. But yeah, being a student and Geoff taking care of the house, I don't know, we've probably run together half a dozen times in the past year.
Yeah, but going forward, I think we're going to run more next year when Tony's done with school and becomes a run bum like me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you think we'll see another showdown at Western States between you guys someday?
Oh man, showdown in Western States again. Well, Geoff and I are both in the Hard Rock, I think, this year, so that's really exciting. Yeah. And Hard Rock, honestly, is a race that inspires me a lot more than Western States. It's the best course in the country, maybe the world, so that should be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward. We just found out this past weekend that we got into Hard Rock, and definitely really excited about that. And I know I'm definitely not running Western States this coming summer, but I certainly haven't ruled out running it again at some point. So, and if I do, I'd love to have this guy there running. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the reason you go to Western States is to run against the best runners. That's what the deepest competition is, and it would be, you know, I have to win a Cougar as well. And it would feel a little hollow if, you know, Geoff wasn't there, Killian wasn't there to beat. So hopefully we all make it back again at some point. Not today. I mean, I've done it before. Yeah.
I have never run down here at all. I definitely, I live up in Netherland, and I just kind of hole up in a little cabin and run from my front door 90% of my runs. One of these seasons here in Colorado, I'm going to get out in the region more and do more stuff, but I've been telling myself that for 16 months now, so we'll see.
Killian's talking about Pikes Peak for 2012. So I was wondering, maybe you guys could just comment on how you think that might go for him, knowing the way he can run. And
Yeah, no, I think Killian's going to do really well at the Pikes Peak Marathon in August. I mean, I have an idea of what I think that he could run, but I don't think he'll break the course record, but I think he'll be close. You know, I think 320 something probably. I think his downhilling ability is even more impressive than his climbing ability, so it'd be pretty exciting to see him run on that mountain.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just know Killian well enough to know any race he lines up to run that he's focused on, he's a contender to run the course as fast as anyone ever has, and that's just the talent he has. So.
Tony, you talked about doing a ultra down here. How's that coming together, or is that plan still intact?
Like the 50K fun run next
Yeah,
month?
well, or maybe another one that's.
Yeah, no, so I'm still in school, and that's taking all my time at this point. At some point, I'd like to organize an actual sanctioned race in Colorado Springs. I think the trails around here, are perfect for it, and it'd be nice to showcase kind of more trails other than just the bar trail in the region.
Right.
With an official, I don't know, maybe a 50-mile race or a 50K. But yeah.
Hey, Tony, which course record do you think is tougher, Western or Leadville?
Oh, that's a good question, JT.
You can be honest.
I've thought about this a lot because I was just 6 minutes back. I have no idea what 15 or 17 I think they're really close to being equal. I think it's about a 30 to 40 minute difference for the top guys between the two races, and that at least on the old Leadville course. I think the new one's about 2 miles short, but I think 15:07 at Western and 15:42, whatever, 15:43 at Leadville are pretty equivalent. I couldn't really pick one. Match is obviously impressive because no one had really even come close to running that fast at Leadville before. But Geoff took a half an hour off of Scott's time at Western State, so it's pretty spectacular performance too.
Leadville something you'd like to take a crack at, Geoff?
Yeah, it's definitely on my list. For 100 milers, it's on the short list, one of the top few that I have an eye on. Again, it won't be one I'm definitely not going to do it this coming year, but maybe in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Just one more comment on that. I was definitely in better shape running 15:13 at Western State than when I ran 16:14 at Leadville. I was definitely more fit in 2010. So.
Geoff, it showed you in the movie in front of the book Beyond the Wall. Would you say that's your most inspirational running book or that you've read?
No, I definitely, it's an Edward Abbey book, collection of different short pieces of his and things. And I just, before I moved to Alaska, I lived in Utah for 6 years, and just his his view on a lot of things to do with the desert Southwest and life in general has influenced me a lot. And I think that's influenced my running, but to what degree, I don't know. It's hard to say.
When you guys ever win UTMB?
Oh man, well, I haven't even made it over there yet, so we'll see. I don't know.
I don't know. It's UTMB's a really awesome race that draws at this point the toughest 100-mile competition of any race in the world. It's ahead of Western States really now the last couple of years in terms of the depth of the top competition, it's definitely takes a special runner with a really special day to win that race, and I've taken 2 cracks at it, and neither one worked out the way I was hoping. The first time because of the weather canceled the race, and this year I just had a really bad day. But it's definitely a race and a course that I think suits my strengths really well, and I hope to run it again sometime. And if I run it, anytime I run it, I'll be running to try to win it.
Tony, over here. Hey, how you doing? You mentioned that you wanted to do a fun run of 50 miles or so. Perhaps Steve Bremner could interest you in a 100K Ring the Peak race.
Yeah, I've actually done that one. A year ago, last November, I made it around the mountain a day, so that's good.
Are either one of you guys going to run the Steamboat 100 this next fall?
Well, I mean, considering there's not even a race website yet.
They're doing it. December 15th, they said.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, it's not currently on my schedule. We'll see how the body's feeling after Hard Rock, I guess. This is what it comes down to. That could be quite the ordeal. So hopefully the director is lenient with letting people in.
Yeah, it's definitely on my radar, on my list. If it comes together the way that it seems like it's going to, then I'm most likely going to run it.
Now that trail ultras are sort of hitting the mainstream more, do you feel like there's a risk it becomes over-commercialized or over-sponsored and lose sort of that pure flavor that is in its roots?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, all right, go for it. He was wondering if, so ultra running is becoming more popular, whether we're concerned about it becoming over-commercialized and losing sight of its roots, I guess. And my feeling on that is that there are a lot of different kinds of races out there. You have Western States and UTMB, which is the top runners gravitate towards because they like to race each other. And as a result, there gets to be some media coverage and sponsors. But there's dozens, hundreds of other super low-key grassroots events out there that also fill that niche. And I think there's room for both kinds of running and racing in the sport. And there's no need for either end of the spectrum to dominate the racing scene, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that exactly, and even to a further level, even I think some of the higher profile, higher attention races, they even go so far as to draw so much attention and commercialism, or whatever you want to call it, to those events that it almost even leaves more space for some of the smaller, more grassroots events, if that's what people are interested in, what they want. And ultimately, I think most ultra runners I know, when it comes down to it, racing is only one small part of their entire running experience, and so I think for a lot of people that I run with and that I know well that are other runners, they don't even really care much what's going on at the races, because that's just sort of something they go do every once in a while between their ongoing training. And so, anybody else?
Can we expect to see you guys wearing the shiny shorts next year?
The killing shorts?
Yeah, New Balance isn't making it as safe.
No, actually, it was more the other direction. This year, 2011 at Western States, Killian was wearing kind of a more American outfit. But no, it's interesting that the kind of the European fashion trends in running, ultra running, versus the North American are really quite different. And it's fun going over to races in Europe, and you start to chat with some folks there, and you hear them like teasing us for whatever it is, various things, baggy shorts, or how do they do a mountain ultra and not use trekking poles, and all these different things. And then of course we tease them for the exact opposite end of that. But
a question here. Can you describe the difference between mental and physical hardships? Let's say for the first half of the race and the second half of the race, and does it make any difference once you hit the 50-mile point, and then you've got to go downhill, or what? And just describe the two areas there.
Yeah, for me, physical hardships in the first half of the race are really bad news. I mean, it's just not a place you want to be in the first 50 miles of a 100-miler. You want to be at a pace where physically you just feel pretty relaxed, and if you're feeling physically very down in the first half, I guess it's possible to turn that around, but not likely. So really the first half to me is just all enacting patience and just making sure you're eating a lot and drinking a lot and your body feels comfortable, and if it doesn't feel comfortable, slowing down. And really it's kind of like you run the first 50 miles of a 100-miler just because you have to. I mean, you need to get to that point before you can run the rest of the race, but that's really not where the race is won or lost, and 99 times out of 100 anyway. And so really it's like when you get down to the second half of the race, the difference physically and mentally is really just that the physical stuff you start to feel late in a race is basically unavoidable. It's going to happen. It's going to hurt. But what you can do is you can choose and use kind of experience and strategy to not get down mentally. And it's really hard if you're physically feeling horrible to not feel mentally and emotionally horrible as well. But for me, that's the key to 100-milers, is not allowing the physical difficulty to affect you mentally too much. And in terms of how I do that, it's really just all kind of drawing from experience of having done it before, and having races like this Western States race, like where I just kept moving, stopped worrying about Tony and Killian, just focused on taking care of my body, slow down, eat food, drink water, and to go through that and have it turn around as well as it did and feel that good. That's something that now, anytime I race, that's there in the back of my mind. Like, okay, if I stick with this and just keep moving along and don't get down mentally, there's that chance it might turn around and have the physical improvement. Because then once you do, it's just kind of this snowball effect where everything starts to feel better really quickly and really intensely.
Yeah, just to add to what Geoff is saying, that's the difference really. I mean, a 100-mile race is it's almost a different sport than even a 50-mile race. It's really a mental exercise in endurance the second half. But the neat thing about racing 100 miles is it's so long that your body goes through these peaks and valleys of energy and motivation and just the ability to handle things. So you can really only be 3 or 4 hours into the race, and like Geoff said, it's obviously not ideal to be having that low point in the first half, but the really unique thing about racing 100 miles is if you just keep working through it and don't panic and make sure you're hydrating and getting your calories in, it's totally possible to feel 1,000 times better at some point later in the race. As Geoff showed at Western States in 2010, and anyone who's run 100 miles can tell you it's a pretty universal experience that you have these sort of inexplicable energy ebbs and flows that make such a unique experience.